you might opt out or opt to have somebody check your handlers or whatever you call it on the AC system. All right, let's see. We have Orlando Mercado.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. We're here to pick up on the plea of this morning.
Right. It's O Mercado or Mercado?
Orlando Mercado.
How come my forms have it O Mercado? You trying to be Irish or what?
I'm not sure.
All right. I think we're all set. Mr. Rolando Olivares.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay, the court calls, at this time, the court calls case number 620125, State versus Rolando Olivares.
Attorney Orlando Mercado for defendant, Your Honor.
Thank you. State.
Andrew Riddleman for the state of Texas.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Olivares, would you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Mr. Olivares, before we proceed, I want to point out to you that you have some significant rights and protections that are granted to you by Constitution and statute. The first one is you have the right to remain silent. That means you do not have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit paperwork in this proceeding that has your signature, particularly any papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. You understand you have that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Secondly, you have the right to a jury trial. That means you and your attorney and the state's attorneys would select from a random pool of people. We call it a jury panel. You'd select 6 people who would participate in the proceeding by hearing all the evidence, testimony, etc., and then decide whether you'd been proven guilty beyond reasonable doubt. You understand you have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to confront witnesses. If you go to trial, there'll be people who will testify one way or the other. You have a right to, you and your attorney have the right to question, cross-examine, or challenge any witness who would testify. It's called the right to confront witnesses. You understand you have that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to appeal. That means you yourself or your attorney by himself or the two of you together could demand that a higher court review the official proceedings, the official record, whatever evidence and materials would be part of this trial. And you could make whatever challenge you wanted to make. You'd have to follow the rules on material, records, documents, and time limits that there would be. Do you understand that's the right of appeal and you have that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have the right to, you and the state individually have the right to demand that this proceeding be held in an open public courtroom. Because of the pandemic, COVID pandemic, we're not doing that. But to do this by video conference as we're doing right now, you have to consent, and so does the state. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Now, there's been a series of documents that you and your attorney have reviewed, and apparently you have signed, and so has he. Did you, in fact, review documents with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Among the documents is, I've just mentioned to you a moment ago that you and the state have the right to demand a public hearing. The opposite of that is that you and the state have agreed and consented to do this by video conference. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You saw both documents. You've signed yours and the state has signed theirs. Sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. There's a document wherein I advise you that you do not have a right of appeal because this is a plea bargain. Did you see that document?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have any questions about these documents?
Negative, sir.
All right. Mr. Mercado,
Yes, Your Honor.
make a change on this file here now. It is Mercado, right?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Mr. Mercado, are you satisfied that the state has complied with Article 39.14 Texas Code of Criminal Procedure in respect to discovery?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you signed the document that says that, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Mercado, did you and your client carefully review a document titled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights and Court's Admonitions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Olivares, did you see that document that I'm talking to your attorney about? That essentially it says, among other things, that you're going to plead no contest to the charge of driving while intoxicated, a misdemeanor B.
Yes, Your Honor. I read that.
All right. So Mr. Edelman, does the state have a motion concerning the charges?
State moves to waive and abandon the extreme intoxication enhancement and proceed as unenhanced DWI.
Defense, any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
There being no objection, the court grants the motion. And Mr. Olivares, you're no longer charged with the enhanced or the greater DWI, that you were charged with DWI with blood alcohol content 0.15 or higher. We normally call that extreme intoxication. Did you understand that this has now been changed to a lesser offense?
Yes, Your Honor. I do.
The documents tell you that punishment range for a DWI first is a fine from $0 to $2,000, in jail from a minimum of 72 hours to 180 days. Did
Yes,
you
Your
see and
Honor.
understand that? All right. Now, one other thing,
Yes.
I need you to know and understand that whatever deal you made with the state, I don't have to accept. As the judge, I have the authority and responsibility to say yes or no to your deal. I can also give you any punishment within the range of punishment we talked about, even if my punishment is heavier than what you agreed to. However, if I reject your deal outright, or if I give you a punishment that's greater than what you agreed to, then in that case, the law would allow you to start all over again. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. I do understand.
All right. Now, as part of this proceeding, you're applying for deferred adjudication? No, you're applying for probation. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you see the application, the form, what it is that you signed and declared to be by signing it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you ever fill out the personal data sheet completely? Because this one I have in my hands is blank.
On which one? Excuse me.
The personal data sheet. It's all your information, name, address, phone number, 3 references, where you
I
work,
didn't
how much
see
you
that
make
one.
it. All right.
No, I didn't see that one, sir.
So I'm gonna order you to fill it, complete it afterwards. Who do you work for? For whom do you work?
I'm a truck driver. I work for Best Hot Shots LLC.
Best Hot Shots?
Yes, sir. It's all separate.
Yeah. LLC. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what do you earn? What do you make total?
It ranges anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 a month.
Okay, so we'll say 4,500 a month. And how many dependent children do you have?
I have two. Two
What are
children.
their ages?
One almost 2 and 8.
Okay, and what kind of vehicle do you have?
I have a GMC Sierra 3500,
What year?
2018.
All right, like I said, this personal data sheet, I'm just giving you a quick look right here. You're gonna have to
Yes.
come into the
Okay.
court and fill all that out the way you should.
All
All
right.
right, there is a plea agreement. Now, by the way, where were you born? Where were you born?
Mission, Texas.
Okey doke. I'm noting in the file that you are a U.S. citizen.
Yes, I am, sir.
The state has made the motion to reduce this charge, waive and abandon part of it. That is extreme intoxication. The defense has no objection. I am granting the motion officially to the charge. How do you plead, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes.
How do you plead to the charge of DWI first?
Not guilty.
I'm sorry? According to the document, you're going to plead no contest. Is that correct?
Yes, no contest.
That's fine.
All right. I find, based on your plea and the evidence, I find you guilty. You're sentenced to 6 months Bexar County Jail, probated, suspended for 6 months. You will pay a fine of $400, of which $200 are to be probated. I may address that shortly. You're to perform 24 hours of community service restitution. You will, in good faith, participate in, register, complete the DWI education program, a TAP evaluation and recommendations, and you'll do 3 months of ignition interlock on your vehicle continuously.
That's on his personal vehicle, right, Your Honor?
That's correct. Does he have one from the business or what?
Well, I'm a truck driver. I drive a
Yeah,
truck.
Okay, I follow you. No,
So that was my
that-
question.
It is on your personal vehicle only.
Okay, perfect.
All right. You are to report to my offices in County Court Law number 5 and have your, first of all, finish that document out, the personal data sheet, and you're to have your thumbprint placed on the documents as required. Your supervisory fee will be $38 a month. For the record, I am filing among the papers my certification to you that you do not have a right of appeal, because this is a plea bargain case that you have. That your attorney
Yes, Your Honor. I
has done.
understand.
All right. Any questions, sir? Mr. Olivares?
Yes, on the probation, since I'm a truck driver, I'm allowed to go out of state, right?
Yes, sir. In your case, since you're, the record will reflect that since you are a truck driver by profession, that I am granting you permission to move about the United States on your employment only. If you want to
All right.
travel other than employment, you'll have to ask for permission separately. Anything else?
Sounds good,
I'm
sir.
glad you asked.
I have one more. Oh, the probation is going to be reported in San Antonio, right?
I am not quite sure I understand your question. You do what?
I'm going to have to be reporting with a probation officer
Yes.
in San Antonio, Texas.
That's
Yes.
correct. And if you have any particular problems with that, let us know and we'll work with you. We're not interested in having you fail. We're interested in having you
Yes.
straighten out.
Well,
Judge.
my question was just in the time, since I'm on the road mostly 3 weeks out of the month, sometimes home 7 days, sometimes 5. It just depends, but that's what.
Yeah, you can set that up. There's a lady that you can see her name at the bottom of your screen probably. Her name is Maricela Luna. She's a court liaison officer. She's going to set you up for the probation. If there's any
All right.
particular problems concerning that, your travel and stuff, I'm giving you permission to travel. If there's any particular problems, let the probation officers know, or if you really have to, if you don't get any kind of a response from them, contact the court. All right?
Sounds
Judge,
good, sir. Thank you.
All right, hold on now.
you said you were gonna address the fine, probated fine, address
Yes.
that.
All right. Now, you said you don't have any children?
I do.
You don't have dependent children that you're paying for child support or otherwise?
Yes, I do. I have one 8-year-old.
All right. The $400 fine with the income you're making, I'm not going to reduce that 200. You're going to pay the whole thing. Now, I need you to understand this. Because I have kicked out the $200 probation, which means that you're going to pay the 400 instead of 200. That means that I have increased your punishment, and you by law have the right to start all over again and demand whatever deal you want to. Or you can accept the fact that I'm not cutting that 200 out of there. It's your call. You want to confer with your attorney on, that's up to you, or if you want to make a roll of the dice right now and decide, let's hear it.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. So from 200 is going to be 400, one,
Okay.
like all in full, or what do you mean?
The fine is $400, right?
Right.
And the agreement that your attorney had made for you was that 200 of that would be forgiven. Therefore, the bottom line is you're paying 200. I don't agree with that. Not with the income, not with the income you have.
Yes, that's fine, sir.
All right, then for the record.
I understand now.
All right, for the record, then you accept that increase that I've declared.
Yes, sir.
All right. Then any other questions, sir?
Oh,
Now's the time.
Your Honor, the warrant will be recalled, right, for the NISA?
There is one now? Yes, if there is, then we recall the warrant. Yes, that is from June 14th. That warrant will be recalled.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, did you say June 14th?
On the file, it says June 14th, there was a warrant issued. And I'm recalling whatever warrant has come out of this court, I'm recalling it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Stay out of trouble, young fella.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Judge, may I ask for the court reporter's clarification? The sound was cut out when you asked him where he was from, and I think he said Mission, Texas. I'm not sure. I didn't get it for the record because it was cut out on my end.
Asked where
Yes,
you
that's
were born.
correct.
You were born in Texas, right?
Yes, Mission, Texas born.
Okay, which makes him a U.S. citizen, which was essentially the question. Anything else, Mr. Olivares?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
May we
Now,
be excused, Your Honor?
You're going, not yet. You yourself, Mr. Olivares, are going to meet with Ms. Luna, Maricela Luna. She will explain to you the probation system, what you're gonna do, et cetera, and either probably set you up so you can report and have the conditions of supervision read to you carefully. You're gonna sign them, and they're gonna put them, a copy in your hands. Is that clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Live up to that. We won't see you again ever in this court. Mess it up,
Your Honor.
you'll see me. All right. Now, Mr. Mercado, you may be excused, or you can stay with your client, because he's gonna have to meet with